Hey, I'm Tony, the Motivational Maverick. I want to talk a little bit about recognizing outstanding people and legendary people. Nipsey Hussle had passed away. It's been a little bit over a week, and his funeral was today. A lot of people really didn't know too much about his music. He's a West Coast rapper, if you haven't heard of him. And what a lot of people have recognized him for is helping his community, Slauson, the Los Angeles, California area. So what he did was very special to his neighborhood, because what he did is he did something that most famous people would never do. That's when you can find, that he's a legendary person. He's always going to be legendary. When you can actually help people who have been in prison and you provide them with jobs, that's outstanding. Most people don't do that. Sometimes you'll be around a legendary person. You can be around a legendary person and not even know it. Most people become legendary after they're dead and gone, and most of them don't live their full potential lives. They die at a young age, either by overdose, or they're shot and killed, or something tragic. But we all have a time and day in which we live. So they just don't live their full potential lives, but they live more of a life at an early age than most people will live their full lives if they live to see 90 or 100 years of age. But what Nipsey Hussle did was he helped people get jobs when they were incarcerated. So when people are incarcerated, most of the time they'll go back to doing what they did previously to get them locked up. Like if they were robbing or selling drugs, they'll go back to selling drugs, because once they get out, they can't get a job. They're a felon. Most of them are felons, so they can't get a job, and they give up. And a lot of them have families, so they want to provide. It makes them feel less of a man or a woman if they can't provide for their family. So they go back to doing what they were doing before. And what happens is then they become part of the system. Like they're doing the same thing over and over again, and they can't stop it. But one way to stop that, whether you can get that cycle or curse, is if you have somebody like Nipsey Hussle that will give them a chance to work and to make money to support their family. That's something that he did, which most people wouldn't do. And then with him having a lot of money and signed to a label, most people wouldn't even go to their old neighborhoods, because they know that most people in their neighborhood would either try to do them harm just because they're jealous. So big shout out to Nipsey Hussle for supporting his neighborhood, the Slauson, Los Angeles, California area. So, and more people need to be more like Nipsey Hussle, because like he was just something special. And when you can find people that's special, that's something that you want to always be around. If you see somebody that's doing positive, try to stick on and hold on to their coattail, because that stuff rubs off. So everybody, now would speak and say they wish they could have spent more time with them, because you never know when someone's last day, when their last breath. So if you see somebody special, that they're special, hang on to their coattail, spend as much time as you can spend with them, pick their brains, because that stuff, it rubs off. It definitely rubs off. So yeah, I definitely appreciate strong people who sacrifice their lives. They sacrifice their lives in order to help other people out. That's what makes a strong person, when you sacrifice your life for somebody else, when you invest in people. Incredible and legendary people, they invest in people. They make people feel some type of way, make them feel good about themselves. They create a different environment for people, even if you've never met this type of person like Nipsey Hussle. A lot of people from all over the world could feel the hurt, even though they never even met him. So I just want to say that it's going to take as he had a clothing line, the marathon still exists and still goes on. So now it's somebody else's turn in that area to help those who are being incarcerated work, and so they won't go back to that same old system, being incarcerated. So like somebody will step up to the plate and do the things that Nipsey, you can't compare yourself to Nipsey, but you can do other things to help the neighborhood out also. So big shout out to Nipsey Hussle for doing what most people wouldn't do. A legendary rapper, entrepreneur. He helped his neighborhood out when most people wouldn't have helped him out. So you gotta definitely look at what he's done, and you gotta do better. You always want to do better than the next person. So remember, if you invest in people, you'll be legendary. You may not live as long. So if you want to be legendary and the legendary, the experience, it's in you, then most likely you won't live long, because people are either gonna hate on you and kill you, or you're not gonna be able to take on everything, and you might commit suicide. But I mean, as far as, you never know, if it's meant for you to change the world, you'll change the world. There's not too many people that's meant to change the world that's legendary. Only special people, they are meant to change the world. And I think that Nipsey Hussle was one of them. So, hey, remember, everything is in your mind. It's a mindset thing. So you can do whatever you want to do in life. If you want to be the next Nipsey Hussle, you want to help out your community, you can definitely do it. You just got to have a plan and not give up on it. So, hey, you guys, I definitely appreciate everybody. Go ahead and hit that like button. Also subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys next time.